Everybody, great to see everybody. Thank you, Susan, for the warm welcome. And we are off and running. We have our masterclass today. So super excited to share the writer artist with you today. And let's start in on the invocation. May I welcome today with a spirit of wonder. May I have the courage to speak my truth. May I honor my story and my voice, knowing my story and my voice matter. May I welcome all feelings. To feel is to heal. May I welcome uncertainty, not knowing what words will want to be written or spoken next. May I recognize my humanity in another, and may I trust the deep wisdom within me and call upon this wisdom for guidance. Thank you for saying along with me. And now let us find ourselves in a comfortable meditation position, whatever that might be. And just slow down, settle in, and notice how you're arriving to this moment. And maybe let out a sigh, let the body begin to relax. And bring your attention to your breath, observing the breath, not making the breath do anything, just watch its rise and fall. And notice in the body where you're clenching and holding, or if there's any pain. And where in the body is there spaciousness and openness? And bring your attention to the muscles in your face, your eyes, the space between your eyebrows. Letting that space soften. And dropping down to the eyelids, letting your eyelids soften. Let your gaze turn inwards to the deep knowing within. Just notice, even with the eyes closed, if you have your eyes closed, there's still a field of vision there, even with the eyes closed, and let it continually turn inward. And down to the cheeks and the jaw. Just notice if the jaw is tight, if you're clenching, and just let it begin to relax and soften. Feel the spaciousness in your mouth. Feel yourself having lips and teeth and tongue. Dropping down now to the neck and the shoulders. Notice if the shoulders have crept up to the ears, which they like to do, let them just drop. Let them feel the pull of gravity. And if it helps to just keep sighing and relaxing, let yourself make sound. Let yourself feel yourself in your body, having a body. Be in your body. Your arms and hands and fingers dangling by your side or resting in your lap. Loose limbs, loose fingers. And feel your heart. Bringing the back of the heart, the chest, the whole heart center. What's the quality of your heart this very moment? Let yourself breathe from your heart. And can you welcome yourself with compassion and kindness, however you may be feeling? And dropping down to the belly, letting the breath deepen, continuing to slow down. Mental and physical relaxation, the key to creativity, to being receptive to what wants to move through you, what wants to be written. Down to the pelvic area and the sit bones. Feeling the place where the sit bones make contact with the chair. How you're held and supported to be here, no matter how you may be feeling. Feel the weight of your body in that chair. And down to the thighs and the calves and the soles of the feet. And imagine from the soles that you have roots stretching down through the floor, through the ground, to this earth, grounding you and rooting you in this moment. And thanking yourself for being here, honoring yourself for taking the time for your creativity, knowing your story matters. And in this place of inwardness, I'm going to read a quote by Diane Ackerman, who wrote The Natural History of the Senses. She says, of all the senses, nothing is more memorable than a smell. One scent can be unexpected, a momentary and fleeting, yet that scent will conjure up a childhood summer beside the lake in the mountains. It will conjure up the smell of your grandmother. It will conjure up. So a scent. So we're recalling scents today. Scent and smells. Let a memory, maybe there's a smell right now, just where you're living. And start with just describing that smell. Or maybe it's the smell of the fresh air. It just snowed here in Tezuki, so there's a smell of fresh snow. Maybe it's the smell, the scent of a woman, the scent of a man. Just start with the cologne they wore, their perfume. Or if they didn't wear that, maybe they were an essential oil person. They were like all natural. Start with a smell of body odor. Start with a scent. Let that be your entry point in. The smell of someone, the scent of a woman, scent of a man. Just use that scent as a start point. Don't worry about story. Just start with the description and let that lead you somewhere. Just the smell. Jean Nate loves Baby Soft. Okay, here we go. That's right.
I was working on a solo piece. Okay, so I'm by trade, I'm a makeup and hairstylist and also a trained actress. And I started working on a piece about beauty back in 2017. And then the pandemic hit in 2020, and everything kind of, for all of us, right? Everything just stopped. And I kind of lost my feeling for what I was doing, but I'm coming back to it. And I think this first piece, I haven't read this in so long or acted this in so long, but this is from the beginning of that show. Anyway, and the piece is called Beauty.
All right. Way to go, Kathleen. Have fun out there.
I will try. Okay. Billy and I met drinking beers at a party in Stephen Delmonico's backyard, and he kissed me. And then I threw up, but he still liked me. He says I'm beautiful. Really? Me? Star pitcher at Paramus Catholic Regional High School, where the boys are on one side and the girls are on the other, and he's Italian. My father will like that. Who's this Palooka? Dad, he's just a friend. This is Billy. Billy Mariano. Hello, Mr. Gorga. My father, John Mariano, sends his regards. Mariano? From Hackensack. Yes, sir. Si, Mariano. Electrician. Okay, you want a drink? Beauty, Beauty, come in here. I want to talk to you. My mother calls me Beauty. Mom, the house smells so good. What are you baking? Cheesecake. This is the second one I baked for the nuns. The cat ate a hole the size of a baseball out of Sister Maria Teresa's cheesecake. Who knew? Evidently, cheesecake is like catnip for Skippy. Ma, what are you doing? Night cream. Very important to avoid wrinkles. I've been thinking. Okay, you didn't get into the one college you applied to for the fall. Let's hope you can get into the college in Connecticut for next spring. I know you want to be an actress, but you're always doing everyone's hair. You have a semester to kill. Why don't you go to cosmetology school and get your beauty license? Beauty school? I don't know. Now what are you doing? A-E-I-O-U. Facial exercises. You don't want to have a double chin. Beauty school. You will have a skill you can always fall back on. Beauty school. There's a music cut here.
And I'm going to stop right there.
Okay.
So I'm going to stop intermittent. Wait, let's give her a hand just already for the amazing, wonderful what she's doing out there.
Yeah.
She's doing characters.
Yay!
Kathlena.
Yes.
You're making them come to life. It's wonderful to see it. You know, I read something on the page, but to see it is just so super exciting. The way you embody it, you take your time. I really get to see your father sizing up Billy, right? You're boom, right in. You have such a beautiful ear for dialogue right off the get-go. And here's where I wanted to stop the first time in this, because you jump right into the next scene that you go to is to the beauty school. And I really wanted to know, when your mom's like have something to fall back on, I was so curious, Kathleen, how that made you feel, and also what your father felt about you being an actress and this fall back on. I was curious about the characters feeling when mom and dad. I wanted to know what your dad thought as well. Can you tell me just a couple sentences there?
Yeah, well, he was dead at that point. So by the time I got to go to beauty school, he had died the year before.
Okay.
So instead of getting into that in the script, I just cut to my mother and kind of went over it. But yeah, my father was dead at that point. And, you know, I had this practical side to me, and I really liked doing hair, and I had a semester to kill. So it was like, okay, I'm game, let's do this. But then it gets interesting.
Yes.
In the next scene.
Yes. So do the next scene, and then we're going to
Okay.
jump to the Billy scene. We're going to skip
Okay.
to the Billy scene when you come
Okay.
home after 2 years. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to put this in front here. Capri Institute of Hair Design and Cosmetology, my first day. Dressed in my regulation white beautician uniform with white nurse's shoes, I am standing at a beauty station with a mannequin practice doll head. I name her Mabel. There are 25 other students at their stations in a dark basement classroom, no windows. with bright fluorescent overhead lights, and the one above my head is flickering slightly. Miss Ruth, being good beautician must having discipline, must practicing. Miss Ruth is a 4'2" skinny Polish woman. She has a prune-like face with a gray bun and thick Coke bottle glasses. She reminds me of one of the nuns from high school. Hair curling technique. First, wetting the hair good, putting styling lotion, combing, making small rectangular section, rolling, pin. Now, you trying, practicing, you do. I must have put these same 4 rollers on the top of Mabel's head 100 times. This is so boring. Can we do something else? Do whatever you want. Where the fuck am I? Do whatever you want. I did it once. I'm done. Right now, I would kill for a cigarette. Roseanne Piscarelli is at the station next to me on my right. She has the coolest geometric haircut, super short on one side and long on the other, like a flying saucer landed on her head, like a flying saucer made a tilted landing on her head. Roseanne, your haircut is so cool. I love it. Yeah, I know. It's Vidal Sassoon Precision Cut. My father owns a hair salon in Patterson. I just got to get through this fucking 1,200 hours and take the fucking state board test. I'm going to be a hair cutter. This wet set shit is not for me. Well, you do know, darling, that correct roller placement is the foundation for blow drying technique. Armand is at the station to my left. She looks like a 1940s movie star. She's a very tall, creamy coffee-skinned brunette with deep wine lips. My mother would say, she's a big-boned girl. Not fat, just very big. Big hands, big almond eyes lined with jet black kohl and thick fake lashes. Her hair is meticulously coiffed and rolls from one side of her head to the other, like a chocolate ocean wave. She's got gold flower earrings with red jeweled petals and a matching heavy jeweled bracelet. Her white jacket has big shoulder pads with a high stand-up collar and is fitted to her slender figure flaring out at the waist. Her long red fingernails match the burgundy silk scarf she has tied around her neck. Aren't you planning to blow and style your haircuts? Nobody asked for your opinion. Well, actually, Roseanne, Armand's right. I did read in our textbook that the way you direct the hair with blowout brushes is the same theory as the way you put curlers in someone's hair. You are a smart cookie and a pretty one, too. Me? Talk about pretty. I feel so frumpy in this uniform. You look like a model. Darling, that's because I am a model. I do runway shows at the Feathers Club in Moonachie. And honey, style is everything. You've just got to work it, girl. Well, actually, I'm going to be an actress, but my mother said that learning how to do hair would be a skill I could always fall back on. Your mama is a very smart lady, Cookie. Who cares? Armand, I love your makeup. Can you teach me how to line my eyes like yours? Sure thing, Petunia. I shall teach you all about makeup because you're nice and your eyes are will be absolutely divine to work with. Roseanne, you're a bitch. I don't really mind a bitch, but you're a know-it-all. And you don't know shit, bitch. Fuck you, drag queen. is a fish market? Fish finish roller set? Before breaking for lunch, you're having lecture on bacteria. Most important, you're learning sanitation. So not killing your clients. Is this
Great.
where
Keep
I'm
going.
gonna
Jump
talk
cut,
about beauty?
jump cut to the Billy. Jump cut to the Billy.
Billy, Billy, let me
Billy.
see.
Yes. It's
Oh, right. That's next. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm back home in Jersey for the summer break, and I'm seeing my boyfriend, Billy. After 2 years of practice, now it only takes me 2 hours to cut his hair. Stop fidgeting, Billy. We're almost done. It's about time. A free haircut ain't really free when it takes this long. I'm sorry, honey, but your hair is so thick and curly. Here, I'm finished. You look so hot. Oh, you got that right. You're really getting good at this. Thank you, honey. What? Billy, what is it? I'm breaking up with you. I've been sleeping with Sue from work. What? Sue? I leave my body and I feel like I'm floating up somewhere near the ceiling, looking down on the two of us. He's breaking up with me? I am a perfect girlfriend. I read all the magazines, especially Cosmo. I follow the directions in the How to Seduce and Keep Your Man column. I make him filet mignon. I serve it with Cabernet. I wear short skirts with high heels. My lingerie is black and lacy and skimpy. My hair is long. What did I miss? He said he loved me. What this 20-year-old me has not yet figured out is that not everything is as real as it appears. In less than 8 years, I will be the makeup artist on photo shoots for Cosmopolitan magazine. And I will use contour makeup on the models to enhance their cleavage.
Do the last line.
Why are you breaking up with me, Billy? What does she have that I don't have? Well, Kath, it's like this. Some women look good with their clothes on, and some women look good with their clothes off. You look better with yours on. That's it.
That evening in front of the mirror.
That evening in front of the mirror, yeah, it's a whole.
Okay, there we go. We're gonna give her a hand for this segment. Fantastic.
You don't want to pour it on. You don't know if.
I want to see all these comments.
Feeling great. So
I
great.
love, and I'm looking in the chat, and what everybody's loving out there is your ability to just immediately, we can see these characters. You make them come to life. And what I really love is I also love hearing your description of them, your internal of how you see them, and then you becoming them, of all the ladies in the hair salon. What I was hoping, and what I would want you to explore in this one is the emotional, the feeling of when Billy tells you what he tells you. Because in this thing that in your script that you sent me, we go right into a confession booth, which is about it's not staying in that moment. I wanted to see how much you could explore there before pulling out. You even pull out in the scene where you say, you say, in 8 years, I would become a hairdresser.
Yeah.
I wanted you to stay there and let me feel it, and even bring me into where, slow it down, because that then impacts this whole thing with beauty. He called you beauty. Your mother calls you beauty. And now this is like a shock, right? The setup of beauty.
Mhm.
And in that, and I noticed that. And then when we go to the writing that you're writing in a mute, you're like the emotional drops are like, I'm crying when I'm reading your work. And I want to see that emotional depth come into this piece.
Right.
Do you know what I'm talking?
Well, yeah, I do. And it's a little, I haven't read this in how many years? Literally just, I'm reading it cold right now after acting it. And there's a lot of physicalization to
Yeah.
this piece. I'm a really physical performer, obviously. And so there is this kind of absolutely devastated, crushed, but I take that in, you know, that there could be some moments and beats in the actual performance of this where, and maybe some, I don't know, maybe some lines, do you think, or what?
Well, I'm just looking how
Narrator?
how this particular event then shapes is a consequence, how that shapes the next scene and the next scene. Cause was Billy your first love?
Yes.
Yeah. And let us feel that's going to have the character perceive her world in a different way after he delivers that line.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel that or you don't feel that? Are you just like, I'm over it, I'm moving? Because I'm getting like, it's an out of body, it's a traumatic.
It is an out of body. It's an out of body thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I was completely devastated. The character was very devastated.
Yes. And this whole thing with weight in some of your writings, and even in this with your father, like your father he liked it when you ate, and the weight issue coming up, that comes up next in the next scene, right? In the confession.
Yes.
Yeah. And was that ongoing growing up as a child? Just like I was thinking about the way, like the dad saying, keep eating. And then you thinking also to be beautiful, maybe I have to throw up, maybe I have to do this, maybe I have to do that. Was that something, was Billy ever, I just wanted to know more about that, what your father implanted and what stuck with you. I don't think I'm making sense.
And in that school lunch prompt, I kind of alluded to that, that last piece I sent you about keeping my father happy, but, you know, and from killing the rest of the family because he was a drunk, you know, just was on stage performing all the time, you know, whatever you're going to eat, you know, I will eat, I will make you happy, you know, by being that kid that just loves to eat, which made him happy, you know, and
yeah.
anyway,
And that's what got me. And I was wondering if we're not doing lunch, that one. And I was like, should I do that one or not? You have such beautiful, and I just want to tell everybody out there, I'm giving the feedback to her too, because I feel Kathleen and I talked about this beforehand. So as the teacher, I'm allowed to give a little more critical feedback, but really, you're right, Kathleen. If I saw it on stage and I saw you really embody that emotional depth in a performance, maybe this note is not needed. Right. So I think you do such a beautiful, beautiful job of embodying it and setting the stage. But I do want to see the consequences of each one of these things. So right now you've set up the dream, the hope and dream of being an artist. And then we're going into beauty. And I go like, if you had to define what the story was about, this show, what would it be about? What's the character's journey on this show? What does she have to overcome?
She's on a quest to really know and feel her own beauty. And she sees herself through other people's eyes. And so she just, I mean, that's the essence of this character. And there's a you know, an awakening that happens when she goes right into the heart of beauty, right into where beauty, quote unquote, is created in our culture, right into putting makeup on the objectified beauty that is out there. And she sees the ugly shadow underneath it. But in the beginning, in this innocent beginning part, you know, it's this kind of desperation to be acknowledged and loved and seen. And
Does she think she's beautiful? Her mother calls her beauty. Does she think she's beautiful all the way up
No.
until when Billy tells her no?
No, she does not. She's doesn't, her body is, not her friend. Um,
So can we see that then? Because if that's
Uh-huh.
the journey that her body's not her friend, that she's in the mirror, like all that, let us see that. So we're seeing her then own her body and own and be in self-love around, no shame around the body anymore. So I would really let that, when your mother first calls you beauty, are you like, no, mom, I'm not that? Like, or it's embracing,
ah,
like, I really
ah.
want to know. Is
Oh,
that,
that's a good note for me to figure out. A lot of it, again, is very physical, nuanced,
Yes.
just even but it'll be good to go over the recording of this and
Yeah.
listen to you, because I'm a little
Yeah.
associated.
And I just saw this material this morning, so this is new because this wasn't on a mute, but I wanted to, since you told me this is what something you want to do, and I see the part with your father in eating. So I really want to look at what you wrote with lunch hour, how that then begins to intersect in this,
Mm,
which I
mhm,
think it can.
right. It does, yeah.
I want to look at that. Let's go to the other piece, which is so beautifully written. Oh, you just,
Fragile Life,
yeah, Fragile Life.
you want me to read?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I toasted 2 slices of whole grain bread lightly, just the way he likes it. Then I spread the Grey Poupon mustard, he hates the imitations, sparingly on both pieces. 2 folded discs of organic turkey deli meat with the edges overlapping together in the center of the slice of bread, blanketed by 1 square slice of goat Gouda cheese. I should have gotten Swiss, I thought to myself, but he'll appreciate it just the same. I wrapped the aluminum foil around the sandwich and placed it in the rectangular soft lunch bag that was swag from a vendor fair I had attended several years ago when I was an officer for our homeowners board. I stuffed a chocolate almond biscotti, 2 tangerines, a Kind bar, and a small plastic Ziploc bag with some corn chips to go with his sandwich. Surely he would need snacks. I zipped up the sides of the lunch love bag and said a silent prayer. What time do you need to check in at the hospital, honey? I asked casually, hardly breathing. I'll leave here at 6:45. There will probably be rush hour traffic on the bridge, he replied. Dan sat eating his usual breakfast. Ginger almond granola cereal from Trader Joe's with sliced strawberries and blueberries topped with a huge dollop of plain yogurt and a drizzle of maple syrup. This was the breakfast of my champion. My husband is the most methodical person that I have ever met in my life. At any given hour of the day, I could probably tell you what he may be doing on his daily to-do list. We've been together 28 years, married for 18 of those years. The first 10 were me trying to sort out whether I could live with my atypically brained engineer, slightly on the spectrum, yet very functional husband. I'm an artist, a touchy-feely, sensual being hungry for connection. Dan is a thinker, an observer, an innie to the extreme. It had been so hard to climb his castle walls, and actually trying to get in that way never worked at all. I would get angry and be frustrated. He was incapable of picking up on social cues. I knew he loved me, but it was as if he could not bridge the world between his brain, his heart, and me. Thinking and feeling at the same time was just not possible for him. So he would shut down, drawbridge up, moat filled with crocodiles and piranha fish, no access whatsoever. And my heart would feel ripped and bleeding. One time in an emotional conversation, I calmly asked him, tell me just one thing that you love about me, please, just one thing. He stared at me blankly like a deer in the headlights. He could not. Later, I found out that his brain just shut down and he was so afraid of not saying the right thing that he just froze. I pleaded to get couples therapy help. We did learn about the dance that we did. I learned to speak what was true for me directly, what I needed or wanted without trying to manipulate to get my needs met. But the couples work took us only so far. So I continued to do my own work. And in 2019, I decided to leave the marriage. I was clear that I was not getting what I needed from our relationship, and I no longer wanted to try to change him. I wasn't angry anymore. I was in acceptance that my needs were my responsibility. Dan would always be my family, but I was feeling very alone in a marriage that was feeling intolerable. I felt invisible. Well, let's go back to couples therapy, he pleaded. Seeing that I was calmly resolute this time, it was clearly different. Okay, I agree to go so that we can have honorable closure and transition our relationship to friendship, I offered. But the gods had a different plan for us. What unfolded was a series of miracles. My husband's trauma surfaced in our couples sessions as he confronted the reality of me leaving our marriage, combined with several other synchronistic events. And what surfaced left me shattered and filled with grief. Tears streamed down my face. I tried to keep myself still and controlled as he revealed buried, painful secrets from the past when he was a young boy at camp. I had never heard any of this before. Shock and sadness boiled to anger. I was filled with anger at the dark ghost who stole that sweet boy's spirit. It was more than anger. It felt like a murderous rage for the invisible monster who probably was dead now. It all made sense. Fear of intimacy, coping, compensating, all of it was now at the surface in the light, receiving air and attention. My husband got the help he needed. Miraculously, at the same time this was unfolding, he got a very high clearance at the VA for maximum benefits. He was given a psychiatrist who put him on the right medication for his depression and was assigned an excellent therapist. All this intervention made a noticeable change, and I began to see and feel the light of his spirit in a way that was not possible in the previous 25 years. The drawbridge was lowered and the moat was dried up. There was now someone home, welcoming me in more and more. There was warmth and connection, and I could feel his big, beautiful heart blossoming. It was a miracle, and I wanted to stay. I wanted to be there for and with him more than anything. But when I had been determined to leave, I had spearheaded painters refreshing the interior walls and having wood flooring put down, thinking that we would sell the house and go our separate ways. It was a lucky blessing since the pandemic hit the following year and we were sheltered in place together. Then we had this beautiful, newly renovated interior, kind of like a metaphor for our marriage. Dan goes for regular skin checkups at the dermatologist. He regularly has something burned or removed surgically, basal cell carcinoma, and even a melanoma one time. But this was the second round in the same place. Today was a microsurgery of a skin cancer that was dangerous and that grew back again on his nose. This would be a microsurgery where they scrape and send out the sample to be analyzed until they can get a clear margin of healthy tissue. All the what ifs raced through my mind as I stood there in the kitchen, very still, feeling powerless, with my arms hanging from their sockets like dead tree limbs. Life is so fragile. I prayed, please God. I fought so hard to find him for 25 years. I love this man so much. Please don't take him from me now.
Beautiful, everybody out there, come on.
Oh my God.
Wow,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow, wow.
Oh, wow, wow.
Very, very beautiful.
With you,
Thank
with you,
you.
with you.
Thank you
Wow.
So beautiful.
Very moving.
Yeah, incredibly moving,
Really
Kathleen.
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute everybody.
Thank you.
Uh, And then
Yeah.
Kathleen, you're gonna have to unmute since I just muted everybody, but unmute. But when I read this story in Circle, I saw Rachel Davies put tears. I started crying. It's just it's such a sweeping love story, and the way that you wrote it, just from the very beginning of how you're putting his bread and making his sandwich. So this is a big, beautiful example of showing how much tenderness and love you have for this man. And there's a foreshadowing, we can feel it, right? As you're doing it, you create this incredible tension with that, he's going to the hospital. And then I think the first thing that you say after that is, hold on. Is I asked casual, you were hardly breathing, but I just love the time that you took to find the sandwich. I should have gotten Swiss. I thought, oh, he likes this. This is just shows the love in that first paragraph. It's just oozing with love and tenderness. So this big to everybody. If you say, I love a man, no, you show it like Kathleen is showing right here in the making of the sandwich. And I love this line, this was the breakfast of my champion, right? So you're setting this up, we create this tension, and then we go right into the backstory. And, this piece to me just touched me deeply. And if you want to make a memoir out of this love story, then here's some notes I would give if you wanted to expand it into a longer piece, is just in any love story, how you met, in 10 years, you weren't sure. You said he's a little on the spectrum. He's a brainy engineer and you're the artist. I want to see these dialogues. I want to see the 10 years of courting. And what was the final thing that said, yes, I can marry this man. So if we're taking the whole course for a memoir, these would be things that we'd want to know more about. So he was incapable of picking up on social cues. And you're so good with seeing, Kathalina, take us and embody him. I really want to hear him talk. I know you can do him. And just seeing you and he together, like where he's missing every single cue, let us in.
That'd be great.
Yeah. And I knew he loved me. How did he show you that?
Right.
I'm thinking about, and also love languages, what is acts of service, quality time. I don't know what his particular love language was, and wanted to know how he expressed his love. And you set up later, it made sense, the intimacy after it was revealed about what happened to him. And I wanted to know early on the actual physical intimacy, emotional intimacy and physical intimacy, especially after hearing the incident. Does that make sense?
You wanted to hear the actual physical intimacy of our relationship?
Yes. You
what
got
felt-
emotional intimacy and physical intimacy because of what was revealed in this. I wanted to, you're an artist, you're passionate, you're Italian. I wanted to see how that as well. I wanted to, if you're writing a longer piece, this wanting to be close to this person physically and emotionally. So I wanted to hear both parts of that. If you fill it out, if you decide to fill it out, it's solid right now, Kathleen, if you decide to fill it out. Okay. All right. Yeah. Because you put, I'm a touchy-feely sensuous, hungry for connection. So when you're hungry for connection, what's his, take me into the scene, take me into the bedroom, take me to sitting close to him on the couch. What happens? Is there pullback? Is there reeling? So we can see the change, the transformation in him when he starts to open up and he embraces. And is it a physical embrace? Is there more physical contact as well. So we're looking at that as both of those things, emotional and physical.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, I want to see that conversation is so good and you perform it beautifully. Tell me just one thing you love about me, just one thing. Slow down there. Take your time there. He stared at me blankly like a deer in the headlights. Right? Is that so? If you're building this piece in a memoir, what's the point that said no more? I cannot do this anymore. What's the final straw that says I'm out? I can't keep trying.
Well, that line, that question was pretty much the final straw. Like, I can't. You can't tell me one thing.
Okay. Okay.
So again, you know, it's hard when you're reading and semi-performing something to take time, because the awareness of, oh my God, is this taking too long right
Yeah.
now? I mean, in the reading of it. But yes, that moment would be a moment to really flesh out and take time with, because it
Yeah.
was a moment.
Yeah, it's so powerful. And the same with when you're hearing him disclose, does he disclose to the psychologist, the therapist for the first time, or does he do it with you for the first time? I'm getting that it happened in the office, but you're going to slow down that scene.
Right.
You're hearing all this and now it's all making sense. And so it's a
Right.
gradual, it's just such a beautiful, beautiful story. I would encourage you to
Ooh,
think
that's
about.
one I have to negotiate. It's
Okay.
pretty personal. I haven't actually showed him that
Okay.
I've shared with the 67 people on
Unmute.
mute.
Oops, oops.
Okay.
Well, this is confidential, right? I mean, what we
Yes.
do here is
Yeah.
confidential. So I felt safe to do that because I feel safe in this
Yeah.
space that you create to actually go there.
Yeah.
Whether I take this on a public stage is something that needs to be talked about.
Right. Well, I just want to acknowledge the beautiful arc in this story. There is a beautiful arc, right? Because you were out. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. And
I
the
was.
arc, we're watching him change. We're watching you both change. And it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous story, Kathleen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm looking, I went way over, but I'm like, okay, let's, how was this, Kathleen, before I let everybody clap one more time? Anything you want, last thoughts, last things you'd like to share, if anything?
Just my appreciation. I mean, this gives me a jolt of, oh, maybe I am still a solo performer. Maybe I need to come back to performance. I've been sort of underground, and being in Unmute has given me, I told you this morning, but I'll share this with the rest of the group. Just having that daily practice 5 days a week, being in a circle that you create, has just given sort of, it's greased the wheels of like allowing the voice to come through and the writing to come through. And I feel like I'm getting ready to come back to working on the show and like seeing what pearls from my unmutes feed into that and how it all works together to put this piece together called Beauty, Finding Beauty and True
Great.
Beauty. Yeah, thank you so much. This has been great.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. Bravo.
Thank you.
All righty, we're gonna go now to Q&A. There's David O'Shea. He unmuted himself. We're gonna go to Q&A right now. Anybody have anything they'd like to say, anything they'd like to share? Raise your hand and Susan will call on you. And thank you for all the beautiful chat that you're writing to Kathleen about her performance, about her characters, her stories. Anybody have anything they'd like to say?
Yes, Lynn has her hand up. Do you want to unmute yourself, Lynn?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Certainly do. Thank you very much, Susan. Hi, Anne.
Hi. Lynn.
And Kathleen, wow, that was really awesome. I feel really touched and moved and inspired. So thank you for all of that sharing. Really awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I've been off camera this time, my 6th session, as you know, and it's, yeah, I felt so glad to come back. I am so glad to be back. And I committed right off the top that I would write something every day, whether it was new or, you know, or refreshed, like I'm doing today. I'm adding to something today that I wrote many, many, many years ago, and bringing it to new life with your prompt. And yeah, so I was committed. I love the upgrades to the circle, like, you know, just having that, yeah, okay, within 24 hours, yep, right, within 24 hours, post and do it when I can comment on the two people before me. And now what I'm doing, Anne, is I'm, well, and everybody, I'm going through the whole list of the people, and I'm just randomly like clicking in on different people's profile and seeing what they've posted and finding one of their rights to comment on. So that's really fun, because I'm discovering a lot of the other people. Rather, like, it's always random, right? Who posts before you, so you get that. But to actually go and find people I didn't even know are on, and just picking one of their rights to comment on, I'm going to do as much as I can of that, because it's just a really fun way. And yeah, so altogether, it's just awesome to be here again. And thank you so much for creating this space. Like
Thank
Kathleen
you,
was saying.
Lynn.
Yeah, thank you so
And
much.
I so appreciate your comments for Circle, because that really helped us and really got Crystal like took it to a new level. So you
Yeah,
were always
Crystal.
really giving wonderful feedback there too.
Yeah,
so
well, it's
great
just,
to have you.
thank you so much. It's just awesome to see how you incorporated some of those and went beyond. So yeah, thanks to Crystal and you and everybody involved with making this happen. It's really awesome.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. All right, anybody else out there?
MG, next up. You want to unmute, please?
Hey, first of all, Kathlina, my friend, we collaborated a while ago, and I feel like I know you well to be able to say that was, oh man, so brilliant, so fantastic, and so relevant to me, to many, I'm sure, your work, and you have an incredible way of bringing all those funny and crazy characters to life. I really like that a lot. So I wish you all the best in bringing your beauty show back to life in a more elaborate and fabulous way. Maybe I'm like you, Lynn, another fellow Canadian. This is my fourth unmute, and I have posted more this month than any other month. And I find myself this morning thinking, okay, out of the 17 days, I think I've posted every day except 6 days. So I think I could go back and maybe rewrite some, or, finish those stories. Lots of them have legs. So I'm kind of keen on doing that. So anyway, thanks.
That's great. Congratulations. I love hearing that. I love hearing that you're cranking it out and posting on Circle, and I love reading your writes.
Thank you.
MJ did a masterclass. That was just wonderful. Yeah. Thank you. Who else out there?
Next is Arlene.
Arlene. Hi, Arlene.
Hi, everybody. Kathlina, thank you so much. So you got Talia Shire has nothing on you. You should have been in Gucci. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. So I was one of the commenters on this piece that you read today. So I had a very different experience seeing you, hearing it, and also having you embody it, right? So a couple comments with regard to that. One is that I'd like you to know that embodying it took me much deeper into my own experience of your experience. So the comments that Anne made for the dialogue and the slowing it down and going deeper and revealing, I think
Arlene, I don't want to make a comment
I
on, because she's writing too, and she could be writing a memoir, and I thought it worked beautifully on the page. So I don't want any comparison like, well, I liked it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, because this is also, it stands solid if she wanted to explore this as a memoir. So I just want to
Got it.
stop you
Got
for-
it.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I wanted perfect. What I wanted to highlight is how very different the two pieces written and spoken were in my experience.
Mhm.
And the question arises for me is, well, how do you take all that, whatever is in performance, and put that into writing if I wanted to? You know how you say walk around and
Yes, yes,
and-
yes.
and give it legs that way. So I'm thinking, well, maybe, just right now, thinking out loud, maybe videotape myself reading it out loud and then use myself as my own prompt.
Yes, Arlene, that would work. That would work.
That's a way to do it.
And when you're
Um,
sending, I think I got confused. When she's doing a solo show script and she's performing it, of course, if it's a script and she's doing characters, it's going to be, yes, you want to see that live. You
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you are. So
But now that I
I
see-
always would tell people, don't ever, if you're sending, for me as a solo performer, I never sent my scripts out ever because I knew I wouldn't get the gig. I would have to say, you need to see me live, or I'm not gonna send the script. I'm not even gonna send a DVD of myself. I will come to your theater live and then I know you'll book me. I was ballsy
Yeah.
because I knew, yeah.
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 So this is just how to get that live thing into the writing.
Yes.
No,
So
I don't-
video yourself, Arlene.
Video yourself and then use yourself as a prompt might
Yeah.
be something I could do that I learned from observing you today. And in just the read, I was so moved that they really are two different pieces,
Mhm.
out loud and written.
Yeah.
The written was one that I must have read it 6 times
Yeah.
and just took it into my heart. And how, how the narrator is so specific in, how they say dancing on the head of a pin.
Yeah.
For me, well, no, I don't want to do that. I'm
Yeah.
just the pinness of the specificity was so riveting to me. It was riveting.
Yeah.
And that you captured something that I've observed and heard about with such precision. So I just wanted to speak up because rarely do I get the opportunity to read a script and see it, and like that, or a piece and see it performed. And it was just a real treat this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Arlene. I love that description of the pin, dancing on top of the pin. Yeah, incredible details and precision in that piece about her husband.
Yeah.
All right, we're going on. Who else out there?
Barbara has her hand up.
Barbara.
Well, there weren't other hands, so I had to jump in because Kathlena, I'm just so in awe and elated and inspired by your writing and your presentation. And it was amazing how as I was listening, I'm listening completely fully, my ears, my eyes, my body. And it was so present that I could almost tell what you were going to say. In your pause, you gave what was coming in a little bit. And then it also, the surprise of the descriptions, the couldn't get into his castle walls. I mean, it was like, oh, the in and the out, and everything, the bread, the dad, the thing. And I was wondering, I don't know if this is like, cock-a-doodle-doo-me, but I was wondering if there was any point when Billy first said that thing, and if there was any like reverberation of Dad's first impression of him, if that ever played in. I would be curious to.
Yeah,
see
I asked her to explore that. I think there's a lot.
Oh,
to
about
explore in
Dad.
that
Okay,
moment,
that one.
Barbara. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so for myself, and thank you, Kathlena. Thank you. And I wish you could do my hair. I totally wish I could find you. Where are you? I've been wrestling with the pandemic thing. Let it just go au naturel. So this is what we have. Anyway, okay. So and myself and everybody, I'm so blown away by all these writers. I'm like going, oh, maybe I'm really not a writer after all. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You
Yeah,
are
that's
right.
what you have to do, Barbara. Every single time is shut the fuck up. When
Yeah,
that
shut
thought
the-
comes in,
It's like, yeah,
Get rid of
I
it.
know, but
Yeah.
it is madness that I don't finish. So that the other thing you were talking about, some completion class. But the thing is, and it's a good thing that I'm my age, and it's a good thing I've had 35 years of the other results that I have. Oh, see, I did this. I'm
Yeah.
like, I can prove to myself that it wasn't all a big fog. And also I have a painting of Grandma Moses on my wall for the specific reason that she didn't even start painting till she was 80.
all right.
So I got my supports, and I have accomplished something this month that has been a 30-year upset in our family, and I retrieved my mother's library. It
Way
was
to go,
stolen.
Barbara.
It was stolen, basically. And it's
Wow.
like, so I have put my attention on a priority, and this is all part of me. So, but
Okay.
I don't want to slip into the quicksand of like doubt of the bar of like, look, you didn't do a show this
Okay.
week.
So one thing is, Barbara, what I'm hearing is acknowledging, first of all, you have done shows. You've been a huge success, and you are a huge success. You had shows, like we tend to think, oh my God, I'm not doing anything
It
right.
has been,
You
it
have
has
done
never
it.
was been.
You're not, you are not. And the minute that thought enters your mind, you literally have to like give it no space, no thought at all. The more you entertain that thought of doubt, or I was this, or I was that, you've got to really work hard at this point, Barbara. Like, no, I'm not entertaining it. I'm not letting that in. I'm moving forward to my next goal. And I'm showing up, and you are showing up, and you're doing the work. You're creating. You've been here creating. You've been knocking out of the park on Happy Cock Church. You are creating. You're showing. And now you're going to go towards, like, you're going to make a goal. What is the goal that I want to make right now? Is it to have this amount, to stay on one theme? I don't know what your particular goal is, but it's good to have one. It is. And then go towards it.
Right.
But do not forget, Barbara, who you are.
Right. And I am moving forward in another goal too. So it's like, I want to tie the writing into
Okay.
identifying that. Yeah. So that's my goal.
All right, Barbara.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Who
you.
else out there? Who else?
Vicky. Do you want to unmute Vicky?
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm going to cry. I raised the issue about a week ago of, my rants, etc., because the other piece of me, which is like very fragile, has been coming out in this Writes with You, the sort of the stories that I never want anybody to know. And then you encouraged me to perform, and I actually freaked out. That's not very specific to say, but I went into an anxiety and fear state, because the part of me that's fragile is like so happy to be here, and to tell the stories and to have people appreciate the writer self as well as the human self. And then I don't want to be dragged out of this space yet. I don't have it in me to be dragged out of this space yet. And I'm not faulting you at all, because you also see there is a performer in me. There's I am outrageous, and I have been, but it's the healing part of this, that is so valuable to me. Not only you, but everybody who's commented on my stories and embraced the human in the story, rather than, just sort of like being shocked with some of the things that I've done. So I wanted to acknowledge that at Circle.
Vicky, I love hearing this, and I love you knowing and honoring what you need right now and what feels so good to you. And I love just your sharing right now, the vulnerability of your sharing, and the beautifully deep, vulnerable writing on Circle. And I know that other part of you. I know that big, I know, and I love this part. I love them both. And you're honoring this part. You're honoring it. Stay honoring it. You know yourself. Maybe I'll stay here for a long, long time. Maybe you know yourself. Trust yourself, and you are. Oh, and thank you. Thank you, Vicky. Appreciate very much hearing this. Okay. Who else out there? Who else?
No one else, Ann.
Okay. What about people we've never heard of? Maybe first time unmuters out there. Any first time unmuters? Let's hear from you.
Unmute yourself. Your story matters.
Yeah.
Your question matters.
Their
Your
test.
question
It's their
matters.
test to see will they unmute or not in these last 5,
Yeah.
10 minutes.
No pressure. You have
Yeah.
11 minutes. Just pick people.
Yeah.
Last 3 days.
Yeah. I want to see something more about Kathleena's performance is that what I really love, Kathlina, is the spaciousness of, as a performer, watching you, right? You do not feel so much is told non-verbally in the space between words, and you trust yourself as an actress to hold the space. Like Barbara said, you with your father, right? We already know how he feels about Billy is coming from the nonverbal and the space between the words. And so your state of being, knowing where you are in each character, which is not easy, and you just nailed it. You nailed it, Kathlina. Oh, thank you. And it's on Zoom. Zoom is so freaking challenging to do characters and perform, and you did it. Okay, we got hands up now.
We do, but we also have a question from our audience member, Lynn, who is asking if you could say something maybe at the end about the workshop in Kauai.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I'll just say really quickly, I hope to have it out in 2 days, the information, and it's a working writers retreat, meaning it's not a normal workshop I do where there's improvs and monologues. There'll be some improv, but it'll be like, you'll have 2 hours, 3 hours to be, and I'll be doing some one-to-ones individually with people around their scripts, their memoir, whatever you might be bringing. So it's not a generative writing retreat and ones that I would do at Esalen and Kripalu like that. It is more like you're coming to work and I'm coming in to help you one-on-one. Not that we won't be together in a writing circle and we'll do meditation, do some improv, and we'll be sharing our writing every day, but it's focused work on a project. Okay. More coming soon. I hope you come, Lynn. You're right around the neighborhood. You're in Kauai. All right.
Okay, and so there's another question. Somebody's asking when the next unmute might be, if you have scheduled it yet.
Yes, I can't believe it. I'm ahead of the game. Disorganized Artist here is ahead of the game. It's April 24th, and it's on my website. 4 weeks from Friday. But we're going to have a bonus session because we're going to have a bonus session next week, and I'll give you, it's either 28th or 29th, because my masterclass, Katie, got a teaching gig this week and she was going to do the masterclass. So we're getting an extra section next week, and I will let you know what day it is as soon as she comes back. Okay.
So, and the 25th is a Monday in April.
Oh yeah, 25th. Sorry, Susan, 25th. Yeah, thank you. It's on my website somewhere.
Okay. So then when this unmute ends on Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, that's another question. And then Crystal has her hand up.
I was just trying to, jump in because no hands are up, but now other hands are up. I just was gonna say to everybody, but to Vicky, her question last week to you about the rants, hearing that conversation is what like gave me permission when I was having a bit of a breakdown on Zero Sleep and going through it to just like turn on the camera and post it. And then the response I got on Circle was just really helped me, and those that did see it, you should know that there was a great resolution. Like I was struggling with going to this conference that reminded me of 2 years ago and COVID and all these things. And by the end of the conference, I was like dancing the cha-cha slide with the president of the association. So like it really, I had to process it, which I did in kind of a breakdown rant, and then and get support from all of you. And then and it came through. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. But Vicky, your question was what kind of prompted me to know it was okay.
I love that, Crystal. I love it. Okay, that's so good. That's so good. Check out, and anybody turn that camera on. If it's something like you just want to try it and you've never tried it, and it feels like, oh yeah, I want to go for it. Do it. Why not? Okay. Who else out there?
We have Chantel and then Dawn.
Okay.
Chantel, just you could unmute yourself.
Sorry, hi. Yeah, there was the cat was
Cat
just
attack.
blocking the view. Okay, so hi everybody. Hi Anne. I'm so glad to
Hi.
be back.
Great to see you.
Yeah, it's the fourth, my fourth unmute, and it always brings so much new material for me. And I just decided last week to go and perform again with the stuff I wrote in Paris. So that's a new adventure. Instead of Amsterdam, I just go straight ahead to Paris. And you gave me, well, through these writing, the courage to do so. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity and the Circle. I've not been able to post anything on Circle because I was in quarantine for like 10 days. I had COVID. I was in really bad shape and my computer was still in Amsterdam. So I'm just getting back to the computer. I'm not sure if I'll be able to post anything, but I just wanted to say hi to everybody and thanks for all the writing we do together, because you can feel it.
Yeah.
So it keeps me going. Yeah.
Great to see you. And I love that you went and did a show in Paris, Chantel. So great.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Paris, why not?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye.
Who else do we have out there? We all.
Dawn Whitaker.
Don Whitaker.
Hi. Hey, I had just a quick comment or a suggestion. I've been enjoying this so much, and the 4 weeks in between this and the next section is going to be hard. And I was wondering if there was any way that you thought about maybe structuring Circle or Zoom in a way that the people who are in the group could sort of continue to meet for the weeks in between unmute. So I'm just curious if you thought about that, or
Oh yeah, we have it. Susan Barber out there was holding the space. Susan, you want to talk about what you did and what happened there? It was great.
It was great, yes, but I have changed jobs and I just don't have that kind of time anymore, sadly. And so we did do a bridge, we called it the bridge, and Anne set up a very clear set of directions for me and for the group to follow. There was a morning, we just read the invocation to start. Anybody who had anything to work on brought that in, or generated writing just using whatever prompt they wanted. There was no guided meditation or prompt. And then we had like a 10-minute sharing, not questions and answers, because I'm not Anne Randolph, but if people wanted to share where they were that day, how the write went, anything like that. And then we all said, and I did not sing, we said, may all beings as the end. And I think we did the write for about 30 minutes, so it was a little bit shorter, and all told, it was about 45 minutes.
Yeah. It was beautiful. I mean, it was
fantastic.
It was fantastic.
Really great.
And then Susan had to go and get a real job.
Well, I had a real job.
She had a real job.
I just have a real job where now we're a startup of 3 people and I'm working every day, but we're making progress with the California Department of Corrections, and we're going to be working in a hospice program now. So it was all good work. Yeah. But anyway, yes. And some people here are asking.
Could I chime in about what's possible now, since we don't have that?
Tell us what's possible now, Crystal.
So something we've talked about in the last couple sessions is if there's another writer or two that you have connected with in the group that you are aligned in your writing or in your feedback that you've had a connection with. We've had people just, pick somebody to be like an accountability partner, and it's just, you don't need a whole group, but you could maybe find one person. It doesn't even have to be from Unmute, it could be somebody in your life that you guys pick a time and you keep just a practice going. Or even once a week, you're like, let's check in and see, I want to set a goal for myself, so there is a way to keep this routine for yourself. We just don't have something that we're offering through, Unmute. So
Thank you, Crystal. I'm thinking about it. I think, I hear, maybe I need to take a poll, like, because I feel that too. There's a break and then people write again, there's a break. And some people like the break because they can take things they missed and keep going and then come back again. And so I will consider what other options there might be. Maybe I take a poll first and see what people want, but I don't want to lose the momentum. I think it's a daily practice and you guys are doing it and we want to keep that. So I realize it's a little bit challenging to drop for a month and come back in again, but Circle remains open all the way to the day before the next Unmute. So you can be posting in Circle all the way until that very end. And then there's swipe clean, then we begin again. But I hear you, Don. I will think about what to do. I take the break because I'm working on a creative project right now. So I like to take the break in between.
Yes. So, and somebody else has just posted, 2 people just commented on a website called A Very Important Meeting that does guided meditations and silent writing times multiple times each day.
Okay.
You can plug into that.
Okay.
And then
How dare they copy Unmute? How dare they? Okay.
Did I think of that? I mean, yes, how dare they? And Circle does remain open. And then on Sunday night before the new Unmute begins, Circle, all the stories come down. So do make sure that you have copies of all the stories that you've posted up there.
And you do have access to the videos also. So I saw someone ask that question. The videos with the prompts are also accessible that time during the break.
Somebody also posted in chat that they got together with a couple of people and then they would just use one of your prompts, and from Circle, they'd listen to your meditation and then do some writing and close that way. So
fantastic.
Another way to do this. And then Happy Cock Church.
Happy Cock Church. Holy shit. How can we forget Happy Cock Church? You can write at Happy Cock Church if you're not familiar with it. It's a church I started during COVID. It's non-religious. It's where we minister to one another through the Holy Communion of sharing stories, reverent and irreverent. And then I give a sermon, AKA cocktail. So there's 3 writing prompts, 3 writes, and then you get in small groups and you share your writing in groups of 4 and 5. There's a lot of Happy Cock Church members here that also come to Mute, and Barbara Russell Fessler often sings we have a song, and Susan and Crystal are altar girls. So Susan was there from the very beginning. Okay. Happy Cock. Yeah. It's based on the rooster because I live in Kauai and the cock wakes me up every morning. Not that kind of cock, the cock that runs around the yard.
The millions of roosters.
The millions of roosters.
There.
So that's what Happy Cock Church is. Okay. So I will definitely send a link to Happy Cock. Happy Cock will be happening April 3rd.
Yes, and the link is actually up in the chat right now if anybody wants to go there and register. And sadly, I will miss this April 3rd because we have an event Monday. Yeah.
All right.
So
I think we're
it's
at time.
11:02. Yes. Time to sing.
Let's sing a song. Thank you again out there, Kathleen. Thank you, Susan. Here we go. May all beings dwell in their heart. May all beings be free of suffering. May all beings be healed. May all beings know their wholeness. May all beings be happy and at peace. Thank you all. Bye.